America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Zwicker?
Here.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Corman?
Here.
Ms. Palmer?
Here.
Mr. Person?
Here.
Mr. Prince? Here. Ms. Breyer?
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all present.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is a special presentation on Renton River Days.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Council President Zwicker, members of council, and guests. My name is Sonia Maylander, Community Relations and Events for the City of Renton, and for this special presentation, Festival Coordinator for Renton River Days. It is my pleasure to present the event report for our 2012 and 27th anniversary IKEA Renton River Days. To start our presentation and set the scene for this year's festival, we'd like to share the new video that we had produced this year. It was posted to YouTube, the festival's homepage and Facebook pages, and the City of Renton's video gallery.
This year celebrates the 27th annual IKEA Renton River Days. Renton's festival brings the community together with special features for youth, families, and seniors. Duck into fun on July 27th, 28th, and 29th at Liberty Park in Renton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was one of our new efforts this year. We're very excited about that. That was a first for us. Okay, and our report, as I continue, will highlight the collaborative efforts between River Days and the City of Renton, city support and budget, event highlights, survey results and partnerships, and of course, our 14-year relationship with title sponsor IKEA. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our Mayor Dennis Law, community members Gary Palmer, Carol Jansen, Doug Keyes, and city staff Kelly Balcom-Bartok and Bonnie Rarisich, who, together with many of our festival volunteers, take incredible photos, many of which are used in tonight's presentation, on the website, and in our print marketing. So this year celebrated the theme, Duck into Fun. We produced over 35 events, activities, and special programs over several days and at different locations, but our main 3-day festival weekend was in Liberty Park, July 27th, 28th, 29th. With IKEA's title sponsorship since 1999, our festival is marketed and branded IKEA Renton River Days. Festival management consists of numerous event committees, City of Renton staff teams, and our board of directors. And I'm sure many of our volunteers are at home watching council on their TVs or computers, and maybe not the Seahawk game, but we do have a couple of our key volunteers with us tonight. If they could please stand. Board members, of course, Kelly Beamer, Bonnie Rarisich, Bill Hiltine, and our parade chairman, Tammy Kaiser, with us. We also have dozens of event committees, all volunteer, who plan year-round event budgets, contracts, marketing, features, and partnerships are established. And of course, River Days is blessed with many key partners, at the top of that list being the City of Renton. Our continued appreciation to the city and mayor and council for your annual support. Each department listed is critical to the safety, organizational, and logistical success of the festival. City staff ensure clean parks and restrooms, city facilities, safe streets, on-site first aid, tent inspections, permitting, security, traffic control, to name just a few. The city serves as a valuable source of support and expertise in safety and emergency management. But a special thank you on behalf of River Days is for our police department. Similar to the city's 4th of July, police is present each day from morning to evening and then throughout the night with on-site officer presence in Liberty Park. They are connected through the day to our core event team through a rented radio system. This is very helpful and important if there are ever key issues with the general public, or for example, if we're searching for a lost child and we are immediately connected to the police department in the park. So again, our appreciation to the police department. And budget summary involving the city of Renton. The table here reflects 6 years of tracking River Days related expenses through the city's project accounting system. The cost to the city of Renton column includes the loss of revenue or city in-kind services. So for example, if the print shop is helping us with something, or the city wasn't able to rent out a picnic shelter or rent a facility because River Days events are in those facilities. And it also includes the value of staff time and benefits associated with supporting the event. The total cost of event includes both the value of the City of Renton support and then all sanctioned events. So this will vary from year to year depending on the features for that particular festival. And now joining me to finish out our report, Kelly Beamer. She is our City of Renton Parks and Golf Course Director. She's also been a volunteer on the Board of Directors since 2010, and she's our incoming Vice Chair in January 2013.
Thanks, Sonia. Mr. Mayor, Council President Zwicker, council members, it's my pleasure to conduct you through the rest of the highlights of our festival. We only have 137 slides, so go ahead and sit back and enjoy. So at first, we'd like to show you our annual appreciation kickoff event. This year, as we do try to every year try to keep it fresh and new, we changed up this year and held it in June instead of right before the festival date. It helped take away the hectic feeling that all the festival sponsors, volunteers, et cetera, that help out, they were able to socialize and just relax in this environment. We held it at Luther's Table this year, and it was so successful that we will anticipate holding it again there next year. Also kicking off the festival was the Duck Hunt 3, another very popular event. We had 30 ducks again this year that were in host locations located through the Highlands, Cascade, Rainier Avenue corridor, and downtown areas. The 31st duck this year was at the food bank booth, and participants actually had to give a non-perishable food item to get that final stamp for the 31st duck. Next, we also new this year was the Alternative Energy Car Show. We had 11 participants this year, kind of a late entry into the festival. Next year, they're looking forward to participating with more cars next year. Also new was we were surprised by the flash mob in Little Liberty. We had 40 dancers that were coordinated from Spotlight Dance who came in and just did a fantastic job in the park. The crowd was really surprised. Also this year, the board recognizes an Outstanding Service Award to a volunteer that helps throughout the festival. And Renee Hart was recognized this year. She's been helping us for over 5 years. And she's there throughout the entire weekend, 3 days, 15 hours plus a day, and helps coordinate all of the stage acts on both stages throughout the park. And the Renton River Days prides themselves on the 27 years that we've been hosting the festival, that the activities are free for kids and families, and it's just a great, fun atmosphere. Other activities are also art-oriented, educational, cultural, or recreational throughout the park. And here's demonstrating some of those. We also like to recognize that we're very fortunate that we have sustaining relationships from our sponsors. Year after year, they continue to come back because they like to be associated with IKEA Renton River Days. And if it weren't for these partnerships, it wouldn't be possible to put on all the free activities for kids and families, which again is just the heart of the festival. We're proud again to welcome the Wenatchee Youth Circus. The Wenatchee Youth Circus has been at Renton River Days for 26 of the 27 years, and it's just a very popular event. We relocated it 3 years ago over to Cedar River Park, and it's just opened up the venue, and everyone's really enjoyed the circus. We continue to increase our popularity of community booths that like to exhibit through the park. This year we had just about 80 exhibitors, and they provide information on educating public on services and programs and just materials that they provide throughout. One of the community booths very popular is the Lee's Martial Art Breakathon. This year, the Breakathon raised a little over $15,000, and that money went to the Community and Schools for Renton program. That is a mentoring program that goes back within the Renton School District. Also, one of the booths is the Lions Health Club screening. It's a free screening to citizens and patrons that come in for, they get certified professionals that provide vision, blood pressure, glaucoma, diabetes, and hearing services checked out in their unit. The Renton Salvation Army Rotary Food Bank, again, as we mentioned earlier, this year raised, as you can see, over 1,000 pounds of non-perishable food items. And just to kind of help equate that helped provide over 1,300 meals for families in the Renton community. We also were fortunate to have the Friends of the Library organize a book sale, 3-day book sale, where we were able to go through and browse and shop all books for the entire weekend. And these books were donated by the Friends of Renton Libraries. Another popular feature were the art market craft booths, as well as the chalk art, which was coordinated by Allied Arts. Again, really popular. If you haven't seen that in the tennis courts located at Liberty Park, pretty fun activity. More art events is the Renton Annual Art Show. That's where the fine pieces of art are shown. This is held in the Renton Community Center. And then as well as the quilt exhibition, which is in the downtown library. And again, very successful this year. As you can see, we had 85 displayed pieces. 22 were what we call the preemie quilts, and then 2 were American Hero quilts. Additional entertainment throughout the festival. We had 2 stages again in both Little and Big Liberty, and there were 40 entertainment groups with 400 performers, and it's got nice to note that 25% of those performers were actually from the Renton community. And again, we'd like to recognize from produced by the Renton Civic Theater that the 27th annual all-teen musical Guys and Dolls, very popular again. We had 26 youth cast people in this production, another outstanding event. Again, we had the BMW car show. Car show's been with us for how long, Sonia?
Several years.
Several years it's been with us. It's also unfortunate that we as festival volunteers actually entered our golf cart with a BMW emblem on it, and unfortunately they did not select us for one of the contests, so we're going to again.
Maybe next year, Kelly.
Maybe next year,
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Try again.
Okay. And then another very popular is the Renton Rotary Rubber Ducky Derby, and this year the Rotary group raised over $21,000. This amount of money goes back into the Renton community and supports various charitable projects. And we also had sports and recreational events. Those include fun walks, tennis, soccer, and golf tournaments. We We had approximately a little over 1,000 participants in all of these events. Also like to highlight our senior annual picnic day. We had, again, 500 attendees, very popular event with dozens of city staff, several of our elected officials, Don Person being one of the coordinators for the actual catered lunch. It's just an amazing event. If you haven't seen that before, it's fun to watch the seniors up there dancing and having a good time. This was at the Renton Community Center as well. And then the Renton Lions Club hosts the Pancake Breakfast, which is right before the parade. This is at the Renton Senior Center. Again, just a fantastic event. We had almost 200 attendees this year. And then the parade, a huge popular event. We had over 121 participants. As you can see, several different types up there, and our Grand Marshal this year was Mr. Bob Bridge, who is a longtime Renton business owner and a philanthropist for our kids throughout the Renton community. We also had the Downtown Merchants events where they hosted the window display contest. 21 merchants participated. It was just a great way to continue to promote the River Days event and festival throughout the weekend, and actually a little bit prior to the weekend. Marketing the IKEA Renton River Days is a huge task, and we have many media partners, as you can see: print, radio, TV, web, social media, and then, as Sonia showed earlier, our new video. We have, we've given out festival surveys every year. This year we expanded that a bit, where we had several locations where the surveys were located. As you can see, it increased the amount of respondents by approximately 8 times. It's a huge help for the board, for city staff and volunteers to develop our program for next year and to find out if there's anything that we need to change or improve on. The survey was also available online for 2 weeks after the event. And Council, you have the full survey report in your packet, but these are 3 highlighted slides here at the bottom. We noted that 61% were Renton-based surveys completed and 39 were outside of Renton. And the real exciting part is the overall experience, which is great on a 1 to 5 scale. 90% rated 3 or higher that they had a fantastic overall experience in the park. And that 99% rated that they would definitely attend the festival again in coming years. And people would not be able to enjoy the festival if it wasn't for our volunteers, who just do an incredible job. As you noticed here, or note here, we have 795 volunteers that donate 6,300 hours. Those hours equate out to over $137,000 in volunteer time. And again, just a huge commitment to the pride that they take in our festival and in the city of Renton. And just to stress that again, we do have an assistant volunteer coordinator that has been helping us track all this and coordinate the volunteers. I just want to say again, as I know the rest of the board does, that we couldn't hold this festival if it wasn't for the help of the volunteers. And IKEA Renton River Days has sanctioned events that generate net proceeds through charitable giving. The top ones you can note again are the Rubber Ducky Derby and the Lee's Marshall Art Breakathon. Total of $62,000 that go back out into the Renton community to help support charitable causes. And again, we're very fortunate to have such supportive festival sponsors. Noted here are the most generous of the financial sponsors. Again, IKEA, City of Renton, First Savings. I almost have them memorized.
Yeah.
Glendon's, Rotary Club, Waste Management, and Wizards of the Coast. We also recognized 12 new sponsors this year. And again, over 50 businesses supported Renton River Days. And as with the volunteers, there's no way we could have a successful event if it wasn't for all of our sponsors. IKEA has been our title sponsorship or sponsor for the past 14 years. We're fortunate that they agreed again. We've confirmed for next year that they'll be the title sponsor. And do we have?
Deidre did not make it.
Deidre, unfortunately, the store manager was not able to make it tonight. We wanted to be able to recognize her, but we definitely thank IKEA for them being our title sponsor, now coming into the 15th year. And we just would like you to make sure you mark your calendars. Next year, the 26th through the 28th, 2013 of July, please join us in Liberty Park for the IKEA Renton River Days.
Thank you, Kelly.
Council have any questions?
Well, I have a comment, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly and Sonia, both for your presentation. As always, every year when we go through this, you get a sense of the tremendous event that draws so many thousands of people each year, and it continues to grow. And one of the things that we continue to emphasize, and you just can't say it enough, is how much we owe in terms of gratitude to our sponsors. The Renton River Days Board of Directors, I can't tell you how many hours these board members put into planning this event. I oftentimes come into City Hall around 7 in the morning, and they'll be in the council conference room having their board meetings, and it's absolutely amazing. And then it's the hundreds of other volunteers that you've already mentioned that give of their time to support this community. And after not only having all this fun, but we raise $80,000 to go back into the community, which is absolutely a
Amazing.
tremendous success story. So thank you very much. If anybody wants to have a real joy in your life, you need to spend a few days with Tammy trying to organize a parade. This is unbelievable work. So thank you very much for the work that you have. Council, anybody have questions or comments?
Big thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Covington, you get to follow that with an administrative report.
Oh, as always. I don't have a slide presentation, but I do have a couple of items. I did want to just mention to folks in Renton that they may have seen in the paper or other media venues that I noticed that thousands of transit riders will see changes to their Metro King County bus routes beginning September 29th. These revisions include the start of the Metro Rapid Ride C and D lines, 5 new bus routes, 2 renumbered routes, 17 discontinued routes, and changes over 50 other routes. The good news is routes within Renton will not be impacted by any of these service changes. So you don't have to worry about those things I just said. Just know that your bus should show up at the same time and leave at the same time.
Unless you take the bus to another city.
Unless you take the bus to another city, and then I'll reread this for you. It'll be on our website. With that, Mr. Mayor, I think Mr. Zimmerman has an update on some activities and projects that we're doing here in the city that are impacting some of our travelers, and so we wanted to provide an update on some of our major projects.
All right, Greg?
And he'll take 5 minutes or less.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm Greg Zimmerman, Public Works Administrator for the City of Renton. I just want to give you a quick overview on a few projects that we're doing in the city. As you know, we've got over $40 million of construction work going on our city streets, and we've even begun work on the overlay program in addition to some of the larger projects. So just wanted to go through some major points that the Deputy Administrator talked about at the Committee of the Whole meeting, but I'll bring up some of the highlights here today for viewers that might be interested. On the Rainier Avenue South project, of course, that's the largest project that we've got going right now. The project is going forward well. We have pretty good outreach going on, and we've got a website that people can track the status of the project on a day-to-day basis. And at this particular point, we're on schedule and within budget. The project still is intended to be completed by spring of 2014. Of course, we'd like to get ahead of that schedule a little bit, but right now it looks like we're heading for that target date. And I do want to mention that anybody that would like to see even individual detailed information about that project can go to the Renton website and click on the project that's on the home page, and they will bring up a map, and they can scroll along the aerial map of the route, and determine exactly what's going to happen in different sections, construction of different sections of the route at any given time. And that map that's on our website is updated on a weekly basis, so it'll give people a pretty good handle on where the construction will be. As always, we intend to keep 5 lanes open at all times and do a lot of flagging and a lot of signage to make sure that traffic moves through the project expeditiously. And we've got some adjustments to our signal timing programs, and traffic seems by and large to move along pretty well, although it is a construction project, so we ask people to continue to be patient. The Garden Avenue South Lake Washington intersection, the project is at the 55% completion point right now, and the major intersection repaving was completed, so that some of the larger pieces of work are done. We're still going to be working on the project until early November, and that project is going forward well, as on schedule and on budget as well. We have started construction on the North Fourth project at Whitman, where we're putting in another traffic signal. That project has just gotten underway. It's going to improve transportation in the vicinity of the Highlands Post Office. So I think traffic will move through there much better once we get that new signal in. So that project is underway as well. And that project work is scheduled to be completed in the spring of 2014. I'm sorry, 2013. That's an update on the major projects that we have going forward right now, and we certainly are interested. If anybody in the public has any inconveniences that they'd like to share with us, they certainly can visit the project sites on the Renton website and get their comments in, and we will respond quickly to any problems that are happening.
Thank you, Greg. Any questions from council?
Just a comment, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Taylor.
Yes, Greg, we've got some finished pictures. I haven't been there recently, but I did recall there was an email that was sent to us from a resident who was interested in our making the case for what the project is going to look like upon its completion due to the inconveniences that some of the people are experiencing because of the traffic management. Have we done that? Do we have something there that, is a link on the website? And if we don't, I thought maybe that might be a good idea that was proposed by the resident.
I think that's a great idea. I think what we will be doing is posting an updated cross-section of what the street will look like when it's completed, and some renderings, so we can add those type of graphics to our website so people have a better idea of what the project will look like. We've got some computer-assisted graphics that show almost in photo quality what sections of the street will look like when the project completed. So we can move forward and post those as well.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Corman.
Yeah, along with that, do we have projections of how we expect the travel times to improve when we, I know we're resolving some of the movements on Rainier Avenue and just trying to get rid of bottlenecks, right? And
Right.
I think it would be nice for the public to understand that as well.
I think, I'll check the website and see if it contains that level of detail. Certainly, we're going to be picking up quite a bit of reduced travel time for buses through the route, and also automobiles as well. We'll take a look and see if that's posted. I haven't looked at the website very recently to see the level of detail we have on the improved travel times, but we'll make sure that's there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Zimmerman.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving on. We don't have anyone signed up for audience comments, so moving to the consent agenda. As you can see, we only have one item on the consent agenda, which is the approval of the council meeting minutes of 9/17.
I move we adopt those.
I'll second that, yeah.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Ms. Breyer, that council concur with the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Unfinished business. Mr. Zwicker.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Taylor.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Utilities Committee has a utilities report.
Utilities Committee Committee Report, Water Fluoridation. The Utilities Committee recommends forwarding this issue to the Committee of the Whole for a presentation from city staff and the proponent for a change. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, in utilities today, we had, you recall, Ms. Adams, who has a concern about water fluoridation in our city. She attended our meeting along with several other individuals, Dr. David John, who is a water expert, a water district commissioner, Ali Larkin, and we had a pretty interesting conversation. And one of the things that became that I became aware of that I wasn't was that the council, back in 1984, there was an effort to, there was a committee that put a petition together. They brought it before the council. Council put it on the ballot, and we voted to add fluoridation to our water. What I've learned is that the only body that can change that is the council. That is it comes down from a Washington Supreme Court decision that water supply decision makers have authority to decide whether to fluoridate water. So because of that, the easy solution would have been for me, had that been different, would have been to recommend to Mrs. Adams to go through the initiative referendum process to see if there's some support for this type of a change in the community. But because it is a council decision, I didn't think it would be prudent just for the utility committee to come up with that recommendation all by ourselves. So I thought it'd be best to put it before the full council, refer it to the committee of the whole, have a presentation so that we can get informed and have more information. It appears as if there's some controversial information out there, and what I'd like to do is have the full council hear the arguments, hear the additional information, and that we make a decision upon that meeting and that opportunity to learn more about the issue. So with that, I recommend that council concur the utility committee's committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Corman, that council concur with the Utilities Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, Mr. Corman.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Ms. Palmer.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Person.
No unfinished business.
And Mr. Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Last but not least, Ms. Breyer.
No unfinished business.
Okay. Well, we have no resolutions or ordinances for this evening, so we'll move on to new business. Mr. Zwicker.
Yes, I would like to announce a committee of the whole meeting for Monday, October 1st, 2012, beginning at 5:45 p.m. here in the council chambers. We will have our first topic, which is an impact fees update. Basically, it's just it's going to be a quick 5-minute rehash over the impact fees that we had earlier and the final negotiations, and hopefully we can pass out a committee report that night. But Chip and his staff are going to give us just a quick overview of what transpired in the last couple weeks since we heard that. Then beginning at 6 p.m., we will shift over to the Council Conferencing Center for the City Council Renton School Board meet and greet. Again, beginning at 6 p.m. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Taylor.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Corman.
Just an announcement, Mr. Mayor, that Transportation Committee meeting that normally would have occurred on Thursday, September 27th is being canceled.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Palmer.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Person.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Public Safety Committee meeting that would normally be held on Monday, October 1st is canceled.
Okay. Mr. Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Planning Development Committee has a meeting this Thursday, September 27th, from 3 to 4:30, the council chambers, and we are hearing the Galloway appeal. That is all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Breyer.
Yes, the Finance Committee will meet on Monday, October 1st, from 5:15 to 5:45. 2 items, vouchers and emerging issues and revenue streams.
Okay.
Oh, I have.
All right. Moving on to the last audience comment. Was there anybody who wanted to address the council?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Zwicker.
I move that the council meeting recess into executive session for approximately 30 minutes to discuss labor negotiations with no official action to be taken, and that the council meeting be adjourned when the executive session is adjourned.
Okay.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Zwicker, seconded by Mr. Prince, that we adjourn for 30 minutes into executive session for labor negotiations. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned, no, we're not adjourned, excuse me. We're in recess.
Projects initiated by enterprising public school teachers.